In 2025, tensions between India and Pakistan erupted into a high-stakes conflict that caught the world's attention. With long-standing disputes over territory, national security, and regional dominance, the two nuclear-armed neighbors found themselves on the brink once again. But this time, the geopolitical dynamics shifted dramatically, with several major global powers openly throwing their weight behind India. In this video, we dive deep into the 10 countries that supported India during the 2025 war against Pakistan, shaping the global narrative and influencing the outcome of the conflict. Number 10. Canada. Canada's support for India in the 2025 war was both diplomatic and strategic. While the country maintained its usual calls for peace and de-escalation, Canadian officials made it clear that Pakistan's actions were unacceptable. Canada recognized the challenges India faced in dealing with terrorism and reaffirmed its support for democratic nations facing security threats. Despite internal political pressure from diaspora groups, the Canadian government prioritized international law and counter-terrorism, aligning its stance with that of India. Canada's backing added credibility to India's narrative on the global stage. Number 9. Vietnam. Vietnam, another key regional player, stood strongly with India during the 2025 war. Drawing from its own experiences with territorial integrity and foreign aggression, Vietnam recognized India's right to defend its borders. Hanoi's leadership openly praised India's resilience and strategic approach, while also calling out the international community to stand against terror-driven conflict. Vietnam and India had already been cooperating closely on defense and maritime security, and the war only deepened that collaboration. This support from Vietnam added weight to India's position among Southeast Asian nations. Number 8. United Kingdom. Despite its colonial legacy and a large Pakistani diaspora, the United Kingdom supported India's position in the 2025 war. British leaders called for restraint but made it clear that India's actions were in response to direct provocations. The UK condemned the escalation of hostilities initiated from across the border and supported India's right to national security. While pushing for peace through diplomatic channels, the UK offered India assistance in cyber defense and counter-terrorism operations. This balanced yet firm support highlighted the UK's evolving foreign policy and its growing inclination towards India's democratic and economic stability. Number 7. United Arab Emirates. The UAE's support for India during the 2025 war marked a significant moment in Middle Eastern diplomacy. Traditionally seen as a neutral player in South Asian conflicts, the UAE broke convention by publicly backing India's right to defend itself. Emirati officials condemned cross-border militancy and stressed the importance of combating extremism in all forms. The UAE's statements were echoed in the media and diplomatic circles, showcasing a growing partnership based on trade, technology, and shared security goals. This support signified a deeper shift in regional alliances and a growing recognition of India's global role. Number 6. Japan. Japan, a close strategic and economic partner of India, stood firmly with New Delhi during the war. Tokyo's official statements underscored the need to curb terrorism and recognized India's right to protect its territorial integrity. Japan viewed the conflict through the lens of regional balance and emphasized that provocations must be met with accountability. Japan also coordinated with India on maritime security and cyber intelligence, offering behind-the-scenes support to safeguard critical infrastructure. This diplomatic and strategic alignment reinforced the trust between the two Asian democracies. Number 5. Australia. Australia took a firm stance in support of India during the 2025 conflict. As a key Indo-Pacific ally, Canberra emphasized the importance of a rules-based order and condemned any form of cross-border terrorism. The Australian government reiterated its commitment to regional stability and highlighted India's role as a responsible power. Statements from top Australian leaders made it clear that any aggression undermining democratic nations would not be tolerated. Australia's backing strengthened India's position in the Asia-Pacific and served as a warning to those attempting to disrupt peace in the region. Number 4. Russia. Despite maintaining ties with both India and Pakistan, Russia openly backed India in the 2025 war. Citing India's stability and global responsibility, Moscow offered strong diplomatic support while ensuring that defense agreements remained intact. Russia facilitated back-channel communications to prevent further escalation but stood by India's right to respond to cross-border aggression. Russian officials highlighted India's restraint and called for global recognition of its sovereignty. By supporting India's stance, Russia reaffirmed its decades-old strategic partnership with New Delhi, proving that their historic alliance remains relevant in a changing world order. Number 3. Israel. Israel's support for India was both swift and resolute. Given the robust defense ties and shared concerns over terrorism, Israel reinforced its alliance with India by providing high-tech surveillance, drone systems, and strategic advisories. Israeli intelligence worked closely with Indian counterparts to identify and neutralize potential threats originating from across the border. The Israeli leadership lauded India's efforts to combat extremism and emphasized the moral imperative of self-defense. This collaboration was not only symbolic but also operational, strengthening India's capabilities during crucial moments of the conflict. Number 2. France. France emerged as a vocal supporter of India's position during the war. As a long-standing defense partner, France provided strong diplomatic backing in the United Nations and supported India's right to defend its national integrity. French leaders praised India's efforts to avoid civilian casualties and stressed the importance of international law, particularly in counterterrorism operations. France also ramped up its defense cooperation with India during the conflict, ensuring critical supplies and intelligence exchange continued without disruption. This solidarity reflected the deepening strategic relationship between Paris and New Delhi in recent years. Number 1. United States. The United States was among the first nations to declare strong diplomatic support for India. While historically maintaining a balancing act between India and Pakistan, the U.S. in 2025 clearly leaned toward India, citing its commitment to democracy, economic stability, and regional security. The American administration condemned what it described as provocations from Pakistan and praised India's measured yet firm response. High-level communication between New Delhi and Washington ensured seamless cooperation in intelligence sharing and strategic dialogue. The U.S. Navy also conducted joint patrols in the Indian Ocean, signaling its military readiness to support Indian sovereignty in the region. The 2025 war between India and Pakistan was more than just a regional conflict. It was a test of international alliances and global values. The support India received from these 10 countries reshaped diplomatic dynamics and highlighted the global community's increasing intolerance for terrorism and unprovoked aggression. These nations not only backed India diplomatically but also reinforced the message that in today's world, standing with democracy, peace, and stability is more important than ever. As the dust settles, India's strengthened global ties mark a new chapter in its journey as a rising power on the world stage.